Let's take you to our earlier story where President John Dramani Mahama has announced that investigations into the National Cathedral project will soon commence, with plans to consider a possible relocation of the site. He made the statement during the national prayer and Thanksgiving service held here in the Greater Accra region. Our presidential correspondent Akosi Otre with details.
After a similar Thanksgiving service on Friday with the Muslim community, hundreds joined the president for a national prayer and Thanksgiving service. General Overseer of Assemblies of God Ghana is proclaiming a prophetic message about a new season.
Days, terrible days, challenging times, but the Lord said, behold, I do a new thing. I'm opening a new chapter. I will show you my glory. I will do great and mighty things in your midst. So put the past behind you and forge on, because I, the Lord, I do a new thing in your midst. Hallelujah. God is up to something. God is engaged in the history of the world. God hasn't created the world and abandoned the world sitting somewhere unconcerned. God is a major architect in the governance of nations.
Meanwhile, Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams spoke on the need for justice within the nation's systems to ensure lasting peace in the country.
There are few things. Number one, prayer secures peace. Number two, justice. Justice is one of the things that secures peace. And where there is no justice, there will never be peace. It is said and believed that the absence of war or conflict is not the sign of peace. That the presence of justice is what guarantees peace. So where there is no justice, there can never be peace.
The Vice President took the opportunity to show appreciation to Ghanaians who worked tirelessly to support the NDC to victory.
Oh, magnify the Lord with me. With me, exalt his name. When in distress to him I called, and he to my rescue came. So much God has done for us. Sometimes it's because we want something that is not done our way. We even forget everything. So much has happened since the campaign and before and after. He has not abandoned us. He's not about to let us flounder in the desert. And I want to thank the speakers who've come before us. The words of assurance. And after hearing such powerful speakers and singing Captain of Israel's host and guide, I don't want to speak for a long time.
President John Mahama revealed that investigations will soon begin into the National Cathedral project, with subsequent consideration for a possible relocation of the site.
On the vexed issue of the National Cathedral, the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice directed government to audit the project and investigate any misuse of public funds. Government is enjoined to follow this directive and will soon activate such an investigation into the project. I believe that we can reach a more reasonable figure for achieving such a project, and together we can raise the funding for it. Such a reconsideration of this project might even include changing the current site that was chosen for the project.
He also directed that food originally procured for drought victims be redistributed to senior high schools across the country to avert shortage of food.
As a stopgap measure, I've asked the Chief of Staff to work with the Ghana Education Service to allocate and evacuate food that is currently held in warehouses in Teman, which This food was imported by the outgone government in response to the drought that occurred last year. But in this emergency, we need to use some of that food to feed our students so that education can continue.
Aside critical issues bothering education and the National Cathedral project, the president also promised to share the national cake regardless of political affiliations. A key issue also raised was the matter of unemployment in the country, where he promised to reduce the numbers drastically. Reporting from UPSA for ChannelOne News, Akosi Auche.